Hey y'all, come on in. Good Sunday afternoon, noon, rather. It's such a beautiful day today, even though it's raining, it's kind of overcast. But the beauty of it is that it's fall and it looks like fall. So the season, I can definitely tell, except other than the trees, that the season has changed because it's one of those gray days. It's one of those days you want to curl up on the couch with a good old book and read, or sit in front of the TV and pretend like you're looking at a good old movie and sleep and nod until somebody comes wake you up and say, "Hey, you better sit up straight. You're gonna hurt your neck." But you know me, I gotta be in the kitchen cooking, so it's time to cook Sunday dinner again. Didn't it seem like it came around real fast to y'all? That's to me. Anyway, what we're gonna do today is something I'm experimenting with. I've never done the I've cooked chicken legs before, but I've not seasoned them as such. So what I've done today, I've seasoned these, dry seasoned these chicken legs with what I'm going to call brown sugar and molasses. Okay, so this is going to be um, some roasted brown sugar and molasses chicken legs. Okay, so now there's a lot of ingredients that goes into it, but here's how you shortcut it, because you know I'm all about the shortcut. What I did after I cleaned my chicken up, I went ahead and made a dry rub. Okay, so this is about a 6 ounces worth of dry rub, and I'm going to put it in one of my bottles here. And what I did is I just about pulled everything out of my cabinet that I like to taste on meat, and I put it in there. So if you're interested in knowing how I made this dry rub, then okay, here go the ingredients. I'm gonna put it out right out front. So if you want to go back, you probably have to go back and listen and re-listen to it. Okay, to make 6 ounces now, I'm using 2 tablespoons of that complete seasoning. Remember, I always cook with that. It has such a great flavor to it. 2 tablespoons of that. I am using 2 tablespoons of that Badil garlic powder, or whatever kind of garlic powder you have. 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. I found a new little deal. It's Clover Valley Soul Food Seasoning. You can buy it, made by whomever you like. I did 2 tablespoons of that. And of course, black pepper. I did a teaspoon of black pepper. McCormick's or whatever brand you use is fine. Okay. And you remember my dry chicken flavor broth mix? I did a half tablespoon of that and a half tablespoon of the beef flavor, because I have beef and the chicken flavor. And I use 5 tablespoons of brown sugar, Food Line brown sugar. Okay. And then what I do is just take that and just mix it all up together. Oh, one other thing, because I wanted to put some ginger in there, about a teaspoon of ginger. I did not have any ginger already ground up, and I thought, hey, jerk seasoning has ginger in it, and it has a flavor and a kick that just did what I needed to do for this dry rub. So what I did was a tablespoon of jerk seasoning, or if you want that ginger flavor, just go ahead and use a teaspoonful of just ginger, or the jerk seasoning will give you the same thing. So again, I just took and put it all in here, and make sure you mix it, shake it up really, really, really good. Then I sprayed some that Pam spray over my chicken legs, and I went ahead and marinated them. And I'm going to let them sit maybe 30, 45 minutes now. Ideally, I should have done this last night so that flavor could have gone all the way through. So what I did was the unthinkable. I went ahead and pierced each one a couple of times so that season can go through them. So that's the shortcut to getting that season all the way through. So anyway, I went ahead and got them marinated. So I'm going to let them sit for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to put them into the oven, and I'm going to bake them at 375 for 35 minutes. And then I'm going to cover that baking. Then I'm going to uncover them, and I'm going to let them cook another 30 minutes, which will be all told about an hour, a little bit over an hour. And I'm going to make a glaze to put over them. Okay, listen up for the glaze, for the wet glaze. This is going to be a glaze, and this is going to get you your real brown sugar and molasses coating on that chicken. Okay, Take that same dry seasoning, the same one that we already mixed up, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of that, and I'm going to take a tablespoon of molasses, and I'm going to use, now this is dipping sauce. You can use soy sauce, you can use Worcestershire, any kind of sauce. Like, basically they have pretty much the same flavor. This is that goyoza. Oh, that word is hard. Goyoza. Anyway, gyoza. Look at me talking about goyo. It's gyoza. It's gyoza dipping sauce. We bought this at the Asian market. This is Tanya's favorite. So I'm going to use some of that. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. Then I'm going to mix it. Just mix it up really, really, really good. And then I'll just take a brush once I take them out of the oven from having let them brown a little bit. Remember, after the 30 minutes, you're going to cook them. 35 minutes you cook them. Take the top off of them, then take them out, and then you're going to brush them with this wet mixture. Okay? So, you're going to put the 2, 3, 4 things. So, see how, even though this took a long way to get there, but once you get this mixed up, you only got 4 steps to making your wet glaze. So, this is that dry mix, a couple tablespoons of that, a couple tablespoons full of the grandma's molasses, the couple of tablespoons of the dipping sauce, a couple tablespoons of your brown sugar. Now, when you mix it up really, really good, if it's too thick, again, now remember, we're doing this together. I have not tried this recipe yet. So usually when I get my flavors going together, they pretty much work out. So I'm going to trust this one, and I'm going to say it's tried and true because I've mixed stuff before and, without even trying it. But I know all these flavors here are wonderful and they work together. This work together tastes wonderful. These will work together. The only thing different in this going to be in this is this one here and this one here. So I know this because we want that sweet taste. Not too much, but just enough. Because remember now I put some brown sugar in that dry mix. So then we're going to, after we get that all glazed up, we're going to put those chicken legs back into the oven and let them cook without the top on them for another 30 minutes. At that point, they should be getting sort of brown. You might want to look in there maybe at least one time and brush them again. And then just let them get all nice and crispy and brown and have all that good old glazy, ooey gooey cooked into those chicken legs. Now, of course, you see I've got about 20, I think I've got 19 or 20 legs on that tray. If you don't want to make that many, just do half the recipe. I wouldn't say, no matter how many people you're cooking for, no less than 10. So if you want to do half the recipe, you do it the same way. You just back off and put a little bit, less. Because this here, when you mix this, you're going to have some of that sauce left over. You use it for another time. Of course, I've got all of this much left. So the next time I want to put it on anything else, I've already got it mixed up. So that's just a tip on how to, make some dry rub and then a wet basting sauce for chicken. This can go on chicken or beef or fish, whatever you want to put it on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my oven on convection roast because I'm going to roast that. I'm going to do it on 375. So while the oven heats up, I'm just going to let the chicken sit there and continue to marinate. Okay, then what I'm going to serve with this chicken is going to be, of course, rice. Got my rice laid out over there. And today, what about some butter beans? Okay, gonna do some butter beans or lima beans, however you want to say it. So, gonna be doing butter beans or lima beans and some rice with that brown sugar and molasses chicken. And I've got some Crescent Rolls. Yeah, I picked up some Crescent Rolls while I was in the store. So that's going to be a pretty good meal. It'll take maybe a couple hours to do the whole meal because you got to think about, you got to cook the butter beans Takes about an hour for the butter beans, hour for the so the whole meal, start to finish, a couple hours, which is not bad. It's 147, and I guarantee when and if the flavor train pulls in, this meal is going to be ready. So if you'll hang in there with me, I'll show you what it looks like as soon as I get it done out of the oven and off the stove. So we're going to say hang in there for another couple minutes for me, okay? Okay, y'all, here we go with these brown sugar and molasses chicken legs. What I've done, they've gone ahead and cooked for an hour in the oven. So what I'm doing now, I've taken them out of the oven. I drained that juice that that cooked off of them, and Lord have mercy, that was some good juice. So let's back up on the glaze, because I'm going to use that juice as part of the glaze. So this amount of chicken yielded 2.5 cups of liquid. So when you cook this, unless if you're going to cook a half of a recipe, thinking it'll yield half as much. So just think about it now. This is 19 or 20 chicken legs, and it yielded 2.5 cups of broth off of it, and it had a semi-sweet, because remember we marinated the chicken legs with that dry rub, and it had the brown sugar, so it's semi-sweet. So what I did, I went ahead and poured all of that juice off into a mixing bowl, which is right here. So I poured it off. That's what it looks like. Poured it off, and I added to it a half cup of brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of this gyoza dipping sauce. Now, if you're going to use soy sauce instead of this, soy sauce or any kind of dipping sauce like this, a 1/4 of a cup will be enough. Okay. Then I put I wanted just a little bit of a twang to it, so I put a half a tablespoon of lemon juice in there, and then a teaspoon of vinegar in there. And remember now, because this is the broth off of the chicken, I didn't really have to add a lot of other seasoning, because remember that same seasoning that's on this chicken is what's in here. So I did go back and add a half a teaspoon of that dry rub mix and just mix it all up together real good. And then I just poured some back over this chicken, and I'm getting ready now to run it under the broiler on low. I'm going to flip these over. As you can see, I've already started broiling them, but I'm going to flip them over. I'm going to let them broil some on the other side, and then I'll turn them back one more time, and then they're pretty much going to be done. Now, for the broth that came off of there, because we got the white rice going on over here, and it's all ready to go. So, we're going to put some of this juice over that rice. So I'm going to go ahead and, for this that's left over, I'm going to thicken it just the tiniest bit so it'll adhere to that rice just a little bit. So I'm just going to take I'm probably going to take a teaspoon of flour water, and I'm going to thicken, because I don't have any gelatin or anything like a thickening agent. So I'm going to have to use just about a teaspoon of flour. I'm going to thicken it just slightly so it'll stick to that rice just a little bit. So that's basically it. The dinner is just about ready. When it gets completely done, I'll come back with you and let you show and let you see how it looks. I got the lima beans back there in my little yellow pot. They're still sort of cooking back there. You can see them cooking. And all I did was with them was just added I had let's see, 2.5 pounds of butter beans. I had used 4 cups of water. I had some Canadian bacon in the freezer rather. So I just dug it out and I put it in there for my meat seasoning. And then I put I have these little packets of ham flavored Goya hamon flavoring. Put 1 pack of that in there. And just before they get done, I'm going to put a half a stick of butter in them. That's basically it. Or you can cook them according to the packaging. But this is a simple dinner. Takes a little bit of time because you have to cook chicken a little bit longer. That's my little brush thing over there. But anyway, this is my brush that I use. I'm going to go ahead and brush them since I got them out. I'm just going to brush them up real good. I'm going to run them back under that broiler. And just let them cook a little bit more because I want them to sort of glaze a little bit. I want that, you know how sticky, how sweet stuff sort of glaze. I want them to glaze just a little bit more, and I also want that juice to cook into those chicken legs. So I got about another 20 minutes that I'm going to be cooking this. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, I got the legs out, and I got them nice and brown on this side. What I'm doing now is just to turn them. Just turn them over, and all they're doing, they'll be brown on both sides. And we'll let them glaze cook on this last side here. Okay, just gotta get them turned over. And that's basically it. It takes a little bit of time, but I think it's worth it for the end result. And look, again, this is a new recipe I'm trying out, but I can tell by the way it smells, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, y'all, I got them pretty well brushed one more time. I'm gonna run them back through that broiler again, and because they're done, I'm just running them back and forth through the broiler to get them. Oh, sorry about that. You know we have to have at least one glitch. At least one. Get the camera back up and running. Stop it. Okay. Okay, here we go. We're on the last leg of the chicken legs. How about that? No pun intended. So what I've done here, I've thickened up. You can see I've thickened up that broth off of there, and boy, it's good. So what I'm doing now, this is the last time I'm going to run them through. Now that glaze, this is a glaze, and we're going to use it as a gravy also because we're going to put this over the rice. So I thickened it a little bit for the purpose of putting it over the rice. So this is the last leg of cooking my new recipe. Let's turn that little rascal right over. I'm going to put it on a low. Now I'm telling you, if you put it on high, you have to constantly watch it. So I'm going to put it on low, and I'm going to actually let this last bit of glaze, I'm going to let it just glaze on there. It needs time. So you have to cook it on low, because otherwise it'll start to burn if you put it on high. Also, it'll be like doing a watched pot. I can't do watched pots. Can't just stand there and be over it. Okay, so we got it all nice and glazed up. Those little darlings are going to be so wonderful when they get on the plate. My little children are going to just love it because they got a little sweet tang to it. So all I'm going to do with it now is run it back through the broiler for another few minutes, or until it, just gets until I think it's glazed enough. So go back through the video, watch all the tips, and here it goes back into the oven. And when it gets done, I'll let you see what it looks like. You see, I got my crescent rolls already laid out there. I'm not going to do but just a few. We don't need a lot of bread, so it's just going to be 4 or 5 of us, so 8 is enough. Okay, so Tulu for a minute. Okay, y'all, dinner is done. Got the lima beans over here, all nice and creamy and buttery with that Canadian bacon. Got the rice on the back burner. Got that good old molasses and brown sugar gravy. And of course, we got my new recipe for the molasses and brown sugar glazed chicken legs. And of course, we got the crescent rolls right there on the back burner. So the flavor train will be pulling in here shortly. I'm ready. I've even got my mess cleaned back up. So I'm getting ready to sit down and kind of take a breather right quick before they all get here. But everything is ready. So I'm on time. They better be. Listen, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you're having a God bless Sunday. Sit down, relax with your family, enjoy a good meal. And until I cook again, I'm going to say toodaloo. Love y'all, and keep those prayers going up. Toodaloo.